Well, I doubt if it will last for a long time because basically, for one, of course, the military leaders will be there for some time. If we see the case of Sudan now, there's been some time that the military leaders, after the agreement that has been supported by Ethiopia, to have a military president and a civilian prime minister, but still there is no inkling that the military is going out and elections are going to be set up. So we have that problem. And of course, Guinea might face the same kind of problems where an agreement could be undertaken, which is undemocratic in a sense that they would appoint a civilian prime minister, just like Chad, you know. Now, the son of the former president who was killed in the front has taken over, but what she has done is they has appointed a civilian prime minister to appease the international community, and specifically the African Union, and probably the ECAS, you know, the Central African Regional Economic Community. So this can go in different directions. And now Guinea has a lot of mineral resources. And the fact that now bauxite prices have jumped very high because of the Guinea coup means that it has a stake to play in world trade. And therefore, you'll have different companies involved in the production, processing, and exporting of bauxite to be able to appease the international community to tolerate the coup leaders as long as they are friendly to those people who are extracting the minerals of Guinea. And these lobbyists have strong positions in different arenas, whether you call it the African Union or the Regional Economic Community. But so far, ECOWAS and AU have stood their feet very, very properly, telling these guys to hand over the power to a civilian elected government. And of course, that includes releasing the former president Alpha Conde from wherever they're putting him in jail. This is very difficult to anticipate. With over 110 successful coup d'etats which resulted in regime change in Africa, what you can see probably is a counter coup by another group of military against these people to get even better legitimacy. So these are arenas that we cannot predict in any situation, and even the pundits in Guinea might not even be able to forecast what's going to take place next day.
Organizing a coup is not something that you just do one day, or maybe something that you didn't think about, it just happened by accident. Is it possible that there can be a kind of foreign influence in what is taking place in Guinea Conakry?
Well, you know, as I said, because of Guinea's mineral wealth, there will be a lot of companies interested, and those companies have governments that impose their will, even in the Security Council, and therefore we cannot ignore the role of the international community and the transnational companies. But the point is, the decision eventually has to rest with the people of Guinea. And this decision cannot be simply of something of ethnic origin, because what colonialists, multinationals have done with the support of their governments is a kind of neo-colonial operation where they have divided African politics along ethnic lines to a point where one ethnic group doesn't want to live with another ethnic group. And therefore, it's very important to look into how the Guineans would unite on a forum for democracy more than trying to get some politician into power, because most African politicians appeal to their ethnic groups. Of course, some of them have the majority ethnic group, and therefore they can create crisis within the country where minorities are not represented. So, you know, the whole issue of building a republic is to have representatives that serve the constitution and not just serve a big constituency. A rule by the majority doesn't mean that the minority has no role in that. So I think the most important thing for the Guineans now is the other political opposition parties in Guinea have to articulate their agenda and show their support for democracy. Of course, this has its own costs. The military will not hesitate to incarcerate or kill these politicians who talk. But there are always sacrifices when it comes to transforming politics in any given country. And therefore, my hope is that the international community, the opposition politicians in Guinea, and the people of Guinea would unite in a process where it would lead to a responsible government in Guinea, where, as President Alpha Conde did, is going to change the constitution, have a referendum, and probably be a president for life. You cannot have that. This is what Algeria saw. It was a sick man, a very well-known politician who has served Algeria very well, but at the end of his time, some people were using him as probably a kind of front picture to be able to do what they want to do, people under him. And the Algerians rose against this, even saying that, send the dead man to the grave. These were the kind of placards that I saw with civil society acting to this. And therefore, we should discourage this by any moment. And I think the media has a lot of role to play. One, the media has a teaching task. It can teach Africans on what democracy is, on how democracy happens, what elections are, how do we develop a political culture. You can see the case of Nigeria, for example, where the incumbent was saying 20 billion has been lost from the central bank or from some bank, and I'm going to find this money for you. And Nigerians overwhelmingly voted. And when it comes to political awareness, I don't think any country is better than Nigeria. With the strong media Nigeria has, with the strong educational institutions it has, people just trusted this issue of missing 20 billion. But that 20 billion has never come to see the light of the day. And therefore, we need media that's going to be able to promote democracy and plural governments. And if Nigeria cannot do it, I don't think any other country can do it. With the kind of educational level you have, frankly, if you have, with the kind of elite you have in Nigeria, it would have been possible. But look at what Nigeria is. Every day what we hear is kids are taken away by gangs. Kids are taken away by Boko Haram, whatever we call them. And these guys are looking for money and the government is paying compensation. Frankly, Nigeria should have the best law enforcement institutions in the continent, but this is not happening. So governments are not even doing the minimum that they're expected to do, like protecting their own citizens. Where is the community? How does it happen that schoolgirls are being just taken away in the middle of the night and nobody knows where they are? This doesn't even happen in many other African countries. So when you have this kind of problems, really the media has a major role to be able to inform people, and of course to expose the kind of corruption through investigative media. Western media has been strong in this. For example, President Trump was impeached by Congress. The information came from the US media, from the European media, before even the law enforcement authorities in the United States started investigating it. Finally, it came to Congress where he was impeached fully and he was saved only by the majority Senate that he has in the Republican Party. So I think the media has a big role to play, and civil society should be very strong in Africa. Africa has a very, very profound associational life, but that has not been transformed into citizens of a political society. And I think the African elite has a business to do this. The media, civil society organizations have to do this. When you see any African interested in politics, they want to be at the helm. They want to be the president, the prime minister, and that's it. They don't want to educate the African youth to be able even to vote for the right people who are going to make a difference in the life of their countries.